Hey there, Justin. How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. So I was just giving like a very brief introduction as to what our discussion is going to be about today. And essentially, just to start off the whole conversation, my name is Jazz. I'm the owner of Love Box Brew. As you guys are probably well versed in, I pretty much provide health information as well as provide products in regards to women's health, more specifically, just restoring the womb. So today's going to be a very interesting conversation because it involves everyone. It's not just a whole woman's conversation per se. So everyone will get a chance to understand what is medicinal mushrooms, how can we best use it with regards to autoimmune conditions and how that relates, as well as some herbs that can be implemented to our wellness routine. So welcome, Justin. Go ahead and, if you don't mind, you can go ahead and lead the conversation as far as who you are, what inspired you, and get us down to the basics of what medicinal mushrooms are.
All right. So I'm a holistic nutrition coach. I kind of got started uh, with my own health problems with asthma, skin issues,
Mhm.
anxiety, things like that. And I've found a few things that help with me, and I'd like to share them with everybody today. So,
Awesome, awesome. So what essentially started Soma Alchemy, and what did that? How did that spark off for you?
well, I've always been into ancient knowledge, traditional old indigenous cultures.
Hmm.
Um, and Soma was a alchemical brew that would it was they believed it to be the philosopher's stone, healer of all ills.
Cool.
Um, yeah, so my business Soma Alchemy is kind of the path of looking for Soma. That's my life path. Just trying. My whole life is about looking for that divine elixir.
Excellent, excellent. So lead the conversation as far as what are the basics that anyone would need to know as far as using medicinal mushrooms into their health plan, so to speak.
Really, just adding in. We don't need to take anything away out of our diet to be healthy. I mean, especially in the beginning, it gets
Yeah.
to that, but really just adding like things like chaga and reishi to like soup broths. So that's a great start. Or
Hmm.
mushroom tea. I'm drinking a chaga tea right now with
Awesome.
some, yeah, and this helps modulate our immune system. It helps bring more intelligence into our immune system. The mushrooms are the immune system of the forest, and we are connected to that immune system.
Hmm.
We've become disconnected through our materialistic life, and it kind of takes us back into that love energy that mushrooms and trees concentrate from nature.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. So essentially we were talking about autoimmune conditions and stuff like that. So to anyone that's not well versed as to what an autoimmune disease is or condition, there's about 80 or more autoimmune diseases out there, and they range anywhere from multiple sclerosis to rheumatoid arthritis, to pretty much anything in between as it relates and it affects the body. So what it essentially does is that your immune system attacks you, and there's many symptoms, so it depends on what part of the body, so to speak, but predominantly it shows up like either a rash or like a pain or discomfort at that specific site. So it just, it's a very broad concept, but essentially you can use medicinal mushrooms, um, something that's been around for thousands of years, to essentially help to strengthen the immune system. Correct? Would you agree, Justin?
Yeah, yeah.
So essentially, so what specific, what are some basic knowledge that we should be aware for somebody that's just brand new, that's not really well versed in the whole use of mushrooms? We talked about how you can use it in teas, but what are some other basic knowledge that we should be aware of?
Well, there's mushrooms like turkey tail that grow all around us, like even in like suburb areas. Um, the concern with mushrooms is like once all the trees get cut down, our immune system will be even more compromised. So getting into mushrooms is also about like kind of saving nature,
Yeah.
and you're voting with your money buying supplements like these to bring back the forest. So it's a good cause, and you're healing your body. Yeah, just bringing these things and adding them in. The idea is to bring in high doses of mushrooms in the long term to induce like super immunity.
Yeah.
Um, but in the beginning, it's just kind of taking low doses and just kind of feeling yourself, and reishi in particular kind of helps with the emotions, and autoimmune can also affect our emotions as well, like you can anxiety disorders and
Oh
stuff
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, reishi is just really about the heart. It's even like shaped like the heart. So
Cool.
the doctrine of signatures shows us that if something is like shaped like a kidney or a heart, it's supposed to help with that specific organ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty
So
cool. That actually reminds me because and me and my boyfriend actually, and shout out to Jamie, but he was telling me how there's one specific rare mushroom called the tiger's milk. Are you familiar with that one?
I have not.
Okay, apparently it grows in Indonesia, and how it grows about is that it's a specific fungus that is grown out of essentially where the tigers moms who are doing their maternal period in their lives, where the milk spills out on top of this specific fertile ground, and from this ground the fungi is so prominent that it grows up and out of the ground, and you can use this specific mushroom to strengthen your respiratory system. And it's so expensive. I think it's like 40 to $45 a pop, but it's for a small bottle. And it's such a rare mushroom, but it's so potent as far as strengthening your respiratory system that um, a lot of um, a lot of patients who have used it who struggle with breathing has helped a lot. So it's something that I was looking into because, like you, I also deal with asthma and I deal with allergy issues. So I've been, perusing around and seeing, what are some different things to essentially supplement into my health that can help me boost up and strengthen the cellular system. And I just thought that was really interesting. So it's one of those things that's really rare. So I wouldn't expect a lot of people to know about it, but it's called tiger's milk. So anybody that's interested in looking that up. Um, so when we're talking about other medicinal mushrooms as well, there is a difference between psychedelic mushrooms, right? Because it's totally different than what we're talking about in the grand scheme of things, correct?
Yeah, I will say that psilocybin mushrooms do induce neurogenesis in the brain. It's similar. There's a mushroom called lion's mane that does something similar to that.
Oh,
So
interesting.
it doesn't have the same psychoactive effect,
Mm-hmm.
but it actually induces the growth of new brain cells in the brain. I could actually share a story. I have a close family member who had a traumatic brain injury and had been using both the psychoactive variety and also the lion's mane. And there was a clinical study that showed that people who have brain injuries can actually, after 2 weeks of use 3 times a day, um, in combination with niacin
Mm-hmm.
to flush the mushrooms into your blood, this treatment could help induce neurogenesis. So it's
Oh,
a really powerful.
wow. And can for the viewers out there, you mentioned which were the two that you said? You said it was the lion's mane, correct? And the other one was
And this is not legal yet, and I know a lot of people don't have access, and it'll work with the lion's mane alone, but in conjunction with the psilocybin mushrooms.
yeah,
I know that's a bit controversial,
right.
and also niacin, which is a form of B2, uh, and it helps drive minerals and nutrients into the blood deeper, and so it
Hmm.
has like this flushing effect. It drives the mushrooms deeper into your nerves, which is really interesting.
That is so cool. That's really good to know. Yeah, because we always hear about, the psychoactive compounds that's very prominent in these mushrooms and stuff like that, and it gets really iffy and questionable because it's not legal, quote unquote, per se. But it's like stuff that people should be aware of, that especially when there's alternatives than the what's being pushed on us as far as the pharmaceutical drugs and stuff like that. So really good to know. Anything you want to add on that, Justin?
I take lion's mane every day. It's great for podcasting, or if you have like a job interview. It really just puts you into that flow state, and it works pretty fast. I mean, I have a fast metabolism, so I feel things pretty fast.
Yeah.
But within like a week or two, you feel a noticeable difference in your mood and anti-anxiety relief.
Awesome. So when we talk about consuming mushrooms and stuff like that, besides eating the actual mushrooms, are there like contraindications that we should be aware of as a consumer of taking such fungus and other fungi?
There's people that claim that. I personally think they're quite innocuous, depending on the mushroom. If you stick to the wood-based polypore mushroom group,
Hmm.
mushrooms that grow on trees generally are medicinal. And then the ones that grow on the ground are a little bit more iffy. I mean, morels are great. There's things that grow on the ground that are good, but typically, when you're just starting out and trying to figure out what to forage for, things that grow on wood generally are not toxic or poisonous. So it's a good place to start if you want to kind of learn to find some in your yard or something like that.
Okay, awesome. What are some examples of these wood fungi that you know right off the top of your head?
Yeah. Chaga mushroom is one. I didn't forage this. I get this from Alaska.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's a polypore. It's like these bracket mushrooms that break down wood.
Yeah.
Another one is a turkey tail. This is a really common one. It even grows in
Yeah.
like swamps. Yeah, and then they use this for cancer treatment. It's supposed to increase the efficacy of chemotherapy.
Awesome.
I'm someone who believes in integrative medicine. I don't believe in like cutting out pharmaceuticals. I think we should kind of work with them and transcend the side effects.
Yeah, for sure. Like there's certain modalities, like I even when I was working clinically, that I found were very helpful too. Like and I agree, we should be more integrative, although uh for me I think as much natural as we can push it, that works in relation and in conjunction to our body's natural ability, then yeah, I'm all for it. So I totally agree. So um those are really nice specimens. Where did you get those? I'm curious.
Well, the turkey tail I found just walking down on I live in the woods, just on my property.
Cool.
Um, and the chaga I get from Alaska. This is I make chaga crystals. Like I dehydrate a chaga tea into concentrated crystal extract. So you can
Nice.
just put a couple of granules in your tea. It's like instant tea.
Very
So
cool. Um, Walk us through the whole process. You mentioned that you dehydrate it. It's like an actual dehydrator machine that you use?
you can do that. You can sun dry it. I like to use low temps. I don't boil the chaga. I just bring it to like a simmer,
Okay.
and then I get it really strong over like a couple days. It takes a long time to get it really dark,
Yeah.
and
Um,
then I dry it out into I reduce the liquid into a crystal.
awesome. You mentioned that it takes a while for it to get dark. What causes it to get dark? Is it by natural elements or?
Yeah, the chaga mushroom is high in melanin, which is like
Mhm.
the black pigment.
Yeah.
Um, American people have a lot of melanin, and also your pineal gland is made out of melanin. A lot of your brain components are made out of melanin, so it's really good for your brain and also lucid dreaming because that area of your brain is like for that. So it's really beneficial for sleep.
Awesome. That's so cool. So I would imagine people who struggle with sleep, like insomnia, can really benefit with these mushrooms, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Over time, the longer you take it, the more it'll affect you. It's more long term as far as that. But yeah.
That's so cool. There was another question I was going to ask. So now, to the regular average Joe out there that, doesn't have access to being in the woods and stuff like that, would you recommend getting like maybe capsules, like store-bought type of mushrooms? Are they just as efficient, you would think?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's how I started. You wanna make sure they're organic. You don't want to give money to supplement companies that aren't organic,
Yeah,
or it's grown on like rice or any other substrate other than wood, because these mushrooms actually concentrate the medicinal compounds in trees and make them more available to us.
I
So a lot
see.
of times we're getting into these mushrooms, but we're trying to concentrate them off of rice and things like that, and it doesn't have the same effect. So that's one concern I have with the mushroom industry. But there are great options if you go to your local health food store.
That's so cool. So now when we're introducing these mushrooms into benefiting our immune system and all that good stuff, we did talked about using herbs as well. Would you recommend herbs in conjunction with the mushrooms? And if so, which ones stand out to you the
Absolutely.
most?
So like for anti-inflammatory action, like if you get sick or something, saffron would be a really good one. If you're familiar with turmeric, it's very high in like cercaminoids.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to turmeric, it's got a lot of the same pigments. It's a orange food, which means it's anti-inflammatory. So all most orange foods like sweet potato, turmeric, are all anti-inflammatory. So that's something we would think about if we were battling something. And
Yeah.
it is immunomodulating. So like astragalus, that comes to mind. Um, in conjunction with the chaga,
Okay,
it brings some
awesome.
in the system.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, this is more in alignment with antioxidants, that are very prominent even in the mushrooms, correct?
Yeah, yeah. In
Awesome.
fact, chaga is actually one of the highest antioxidant compounds in the world, or antioxidant containing foods in the world.
Oh wow, that's cool. Um, so say for instance, if someone wants to add this and implement them into their diet, which mushroom and which herb you think would be very helpful, just in general, going forward?
In general, I would say the three lion's mane, reishi, and chaga are my favorites. Chaga is the king,
Okay.
reishi is the queen, and lion's mane is the knight. And so they all kind of go together, and then you got your turkey tail. And the more you add in, you kind of get develop that host immunity to fight infections. And over time, you'll find you won't get sick if you keep taking these herbs. Over time, your body will become more intelligent.
Okay.
Um,
Cool.
I'm not there yet, despite taking high doses. And I think, as speaking about these things, we need to be honest about our own health problems, because that's how people learn, and how what works for me is going to be more beneficial than just acting like I'm a nutritionist and I'm all on my stuff. But
Right.
honestly, we all have stuff going on. So
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure. For sure. So, um, what if someone was to go into the specific study, right? Say if they wanted to dive into this even more and maybe practice it professionally. What are some steps, or what would you give as an advice to somebody that's just starting out looking into this? They not only do they want to implement this into their diet, into their health, but maybe perhaps implement it in regards to their knowledge. What would you recommend or give advice to someone who's just starting out and just like a beginner of just medicinal mushrooms?
well, there's a guy that I really respect, Paul Stamets. He's a mycologist. Um, there's a few interviews of him on the Joe Rogan podcast. That's where I would start. That's how I discovered lion's mane. It changed my life, because I've always had like a learning disability,
Yeah.
and as soon as I started taking lion's mane, I was able to learn things, not just how everybody else learns them, but even better. Like upgraded. So it activating that inner genius I know is inside of all of us.
Yeah, for
We all
sure.
have. Yeah, and so you get into it and you start having a passion for what you do, and then the learning just comes because you just have you just love what you do. That's how you start out.
That's so awesome. So, is there anything else that you wish that can essentially bring more gems into this conversation with regards to using medicinal mushrooms?
To modulate the action that mushrooms already give you. There's a tree called the noni tree. It produces a fruit. It contains immune boosting polysaccharides, and polysaccharides are kind of what makes mushrooms so powerful for your immune system. And so there's other plants that contain polysaccharides. So you want to look for like high polysaccharide plants. So you go into Google and search plant superfoods that are high in polysaccharides. That's a really good tip because you'll be able to find so many plants that have similar properties. And so you take all those and then you're boosting yourself with the herbs as well. You have a really powerful immune response.
Okay, awesome. So, so now, any last bits of advice you would want to extend to the viewers out there with regards to, um, just not only just medicinal mushrooms and stuff like that, but adopting this lifestyle, so to speak.
Yeah, just adding in, you don't have to take away anything. Just add in. Slowly take away the things that are poisoning us, like toxins, glycophosphate in our food. Try to eat as organic as you can, like 75% organic. That's a good goal to start out. And it's really cool because organic foods are starting to kind of become cheaper, actually cheaper than conventional foods now, which is
Yeah.
really amazing. So you're voting with your money to end the monocropping insanity. So that's really beautiful. I like seeing that. Just 10 years ago, these things were like so much more expensive. So
I know, right? It's like totally taking on a different vibration. I just think it's more of a blessing now that, excuse me, we're starting to see more people becoming more conscientious of what they're putting in their bodies, and now we're starting to see even more people gravitating towards growing stuff. So it's definitely awesome to see that. So. All right, this has been a great conversation. Anything else you want to input? You can essentially talk about where people can find you, how they can follow you, and just keep up with any particular projects that you may be doing in the future in regards to um, your account being on Soma Alchemy.
yeah, you can find me on Facebook at Tapped. You can find me on YouTube at Soma Alchemy, and then also on Instagram, Soma Alchemy. And I have the Soma Alchemy store on Etsy where I sell chaga crystals and different herbal extracts.
If you've been enjoying this video so far, give me a like. And if you enjoy more of these videos as it relates to your womb health, consider subscribing to the channel at Lovebox Brew. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Justin. This was such a enlightening conversation. Um, I pretty much just started to use mushrooms into my health after reading about it and becoming a little bit more acclimated about it. Like I said, I just know the basics. That's just it. So, but
Yeah.
you did open my eyes, and I'm sure it's a lot of everyone who are viewing. What are some specific mushrooms to use into our diet? So, I'm hoping everybody got some clarity in here. I see. Hey, Michelle. Nice to see you back. And Shybella 80. Oh, you're welcome. Appreciate it. Yes. Lion's Mane, Tiger's Milk, Reishi, and Shaga. Love it. And yes, Lioness Sweet. Yes, I'm going to be saving this video so you guys will be able to run it back in the beginning and stuff like that. Because we did share, we did, believe it or not, we did cover a lot of information that's crucial points, I want to say, to the conversation in regards to adding medicinal mushrooms. So thank you so much, Justin. I really appreciate it. I'm going to be dropping all the information in the caption, just essentially going just a little brief information about what our topic was, as well as share Justin's website links and stuff like that, YouTube channel as well, to follow him on his account. So again, thank you so much, everybody. Much love, much peace, all in good health. And yeah, and always stay conscious and on top of your health, big time. And the name of the game is all about, sticking to what God's given us here on this earth to heal ourselves. So thank you again, you guys. Appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye, Justin.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Take care.